It's time to introduce our new guest, David George. He's from SVP North America, Accedo or Accedo?
Accedo.
Accedo, thank you.
Stands
Thank you.
for Accelerate and Do.
Accelerate and do. Yeah, because you're a very experienced transformation pioneer. You're improving with your company lives of video consumers by hundreds of millions. So my first question, how are you doing that?
Yeah, so our philosophy is to design, create, and manage video experiences. So in a short sentence, we create great apps.
Great apps.
Yeah, 10-foot apps,
And-
mobile, desktop.
Okay. And also with video.
What kind of apps?
We work with broadcasters, operators, SVOD partners.
So you design for other.
Exactly, both media and on the enterprise. Yeah, so some examples of customers that we worked with, NBC Sports, ITV, StarHub.
So
And what's the challenge in that for those kind of apps?
Yeah, I think the big thing is because there's a big proliferation of devices, both on, connected TV devices, set-top boxes, game consoles. The challenge for both operators, broadcasters alike is to get content onto as many screens as possible. So it's almost like a real estate grab. So what we do is we help our customers get to those screens by a function of either cost, timeline, or flexibility. So we have different offerings.
yeah. And the most important thing is the video experience to transform it.
For sure, yeah. It's all about user experience. The design is really important to us. So if an app is easy to use, then it becomes sticky. People love it, and they keep coming back. And for our customers, they're going to make money through ad revenue or subscriptions on a monthly basis, as an example. So if the app is great, they're going to keep coming back and keep using the service. So being sticky is important.
In what way are you different? Because there here, especially on the IBC, quite a lot of companies who work with that. In what way do you stand out? What's your unique selling point?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that. So I'm a big fashion guy. I love jackets.
Oh, good.
So I'll give you an analogy with jackets. So if you're going to buy a jacket, you can go to Nordstrom, as an example, in the US and buy a jacket off the rack. So it's going to be quick and it's going to be looking good, but it may not be a perfect fit. The next step up is made to measure. You can maybe meet a stylist, give your measurements of your dimensions, and you put it into a computer, and a couple of days later, or maybe a couple of hours later, depending on what they have in inventory, they bring you a jacket. The next step up is custom bespoke, where you meet a tailor probably 3 or 4 times and get it perfect. So the spectrum of cost, timeline, and flexibility of what you're looking for is what we offer. So examples are...
So agility is for you key. For your company.
For some of our customers, yeah, for smaller tier 2 and tier 3 who have maybe never built a TV everywhere solution or an over-the-top product, they want to just dip their toes. They don't have huge budgets like some of our billion-dollar market cap companies.
And if you explored the app, build the app, how do you do it? Is it in-house?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that.
As your company or in the brand or your customer?
So we do the design, we do the development, and we do the certification of the product, and then we do the support and maintenance. So for example, if we have a customer that wants to use a software as a service strategy, so the buy off the rack or made to measure, they'll use products on our Accedo One video platform as a service. One product is called Flow. The second product is called Studio. So with Studio, an example of that is a non-technical product owner from a broadcaster or an operator can create a blank canvas in a Chrome browser, drag and drop UI components on the visual composer, and then those are data bound to a online video platform, somebody else who processes the video. So what we don't do as a company is signal acquisition, transcoding, DRM, all the way to CDN. There's other great companies that do that provisioning. We're the last step in the workflow to create the app.
So the technique about the video where it's putting in the app, that's the technique from another.
Yeah, exactly.
Partner.
So we work with partners like OVPs, Bright Cove, Verizon Digital Media Services, VMond, as an example, and then they store that asset in a cloud service, a CDN. So Akamai or Level 3, CenturyLink, etc. So we pick it up from there and create a great app.
Yeah. So, what is it you see and sense here at the IBC that might be useful for your business?
I think there's a big shift for big pay TV operators in multiple countries, whether they're a satellite provider, coaxial cable, or IPTV. You're seeing a shift off legacy set-top box devices that are old. They're archaic. The user experience is not the greatest because you have your boring grid guide view. A lot of people are moving to IP delivery. So we did a great deployment on Android TV with a big operator in Asia Pac region called StarHub. So we're really proud of that deployment. If you come to our booth, Hall 14, E10, you can come check it out.
Okay.
So that's cool. So we see a lot of bring your own device strategy by these big operators. You see the big players like Google pushing their Android TV product. Apple TV at their Worldwide Developer Conference made a big announcement convincing operators to bring their device into the living room. They want to be a hardware manufacturer in the living room.
If I look at your website, I see one of the topics are sports. And I think, maybe it's personally, sports is one of the products that you have to see a linear live.
Yeah, for sure. Live is super important. So I myself don't have a cable subscription, even though I love sports, but you're seeing big brands in the Canadian market like TSN, Sportsnet, big brands in the US market like NBC Sports, ESPN. They're moving away from just delivering linear sports over the air or over linear transport through a cable operator, and they're actually building direct-to-consumer products. So our job is to help those type of companies not have two separate products. They should be able to have one binary and have two authentication models.
Is there a difference between different world parts because you're serving the whole scale? So do you see a difference in what they need and how far they are in their development concerning the US, Europe and Middle East, and maybe Asia?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked me that. So a great worldwide sports brand, BN Sports, they decide to create different binaries in different regions. But what would be great is if they have one platform to control those experiences. That's what we bring to the table with our Accedo One platform. So we deployed BN Sports in multiple country regions on the Roku platform as an example.
The Roku platform, that was our previous guest also talking about. What's it all about with this whole Roku platform?
Roku's an incredible story that they're a company that actually spawned from Netflix. We're given an opportunity to create a new disruptive experience, and Roku is essentially a set-top box. And they went, from just being a hardware company to now being an ad tech company. They also drive a lot of analytics. They did a big IPO. Their stock price is, climbing month over month, and they've been a big partner for us, big success. So, for example, let's take Roku as an example. Roku has a different SKU of product called Roku Powered. And what they do is they encourage operators globally to use their Roku-powered device to push live. So you don't need old clunky set-top boxes. So we did we did a deal.
But it's not an OTT device.
It is. You could interchange the word set-top box or OTT device depending on who you're talking to. Some people call it a stick. Some people call it a puck.
But you don't need any operators anymore.
No, you definitely need the operator. So think of the...
You need.
Yeah, so Roku has two business models. They're a content provider on their own. They have a individual product called Roku TV. It's a channel. So we actually were one of the developers that built their Samsung Smart TV product. So you can buy directly with your credit card from Roku, or it's a device where they use the device as a set-top box for operators. So two examples would be PLDT in the Philippines, in Manila, and another one would be Telstra TV in Australia. So companies either can go over the top with a device like Roku, or they can have their managed network with their legacy set-top box, or the customer can buy with their credit card straight from Roku, just like you buy from Apple iTunes or Google Play. They have the same strategy.
So one of the developments that we see here is, or maybe actually it's more like a complaint, that everybody's talking about development and innovation and stuff, but that the colors in video stay a little behind. Do you agree with that?
In
or that
colors,
it needs development?
what type of colors? The colors of
Coloring, the coloring of the video.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I think with new devices by Roku and Apple TV, which HD 4K, I think the adaptive bitrate resolution that they encode in is pretty high, and the costs have come down because it's commoditized with great technology like AWS Elemental, Uplink Verizon. So I think from my perspective, as the device in the television goes up, so it has better pixelation, they're able to deliver this high quality video. So I don't. You're asking the wrong guy because I'm colorblind, first of all. But,
Oh, really?
But
And that for a guy who loves fashion must be difficult.
well, it's a good thing I'm married.
Do you have? Yeah. You got suitable socks, baby.
Yeah, exactly. I really do. Check it out.
Yeah. Oh, you do
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a lot of color, by the way.
Yeah.
Green with dots.
No, but I think you asked a good question on color. So there's color of the video, and then there's color of the background and the theming. So one cool project that we worked on was, you know how Netflix looks at your profiling, and then based on who you are and what you click on, the thumbnail art could change. So we worked on a cool project with ITV in England. With AWS, they have a really cool technology called Recognition, and it uses artificial intelligence to actually evaluate what you or I would click on, and then it would say, hey, based on what Dave likes, you should actually convert the cover art to look like this because it's more enticing for him to actually click on.
Yeah. So the whole shift where they're talking about with the 4K to 8K, is that of influence for your
Oh,
business?
for sure. Yeah, I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to help our content providers help consumers push play as fast as possible. That's what we want to do. So the best way for us to, manipulate the layouts of the UI and get them to push play, that's a motivation for us because at the end of the day, that's what we do. We just want to help create sticky content. So if the content is in 8K, let's go.
Let's go. Good. So last 2 days, what you're up to?
Well, we hosted...
Are you in the booth? Are you stuck to the booth?
Well, I'm in business development, so I better not be stuck in the booth. So
Good.
a lot of our product guys are in the booth, but my job in business development is to build sell-through and sell-with revenue strategy. So I'm networking with, end-to-end workflow partners like Cisco, like Ericsson, Eris Communication. We have a pod in the Google Cloud platform, which I'm managing at 5:30. So if you want to see our studio product integrated with Google Cloud Platform, come check me out. But it's been great. It's really good to see industry innovation here, and VR is a big one. So we've seen some pretty cool stuff with guys like Facebook, Oculus, with the Rift product. We just need some brave broadcasters to actually bring some budget to the table and do some cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I think VR is a cool tipping point. It's still nascent, but...
There's a lot more in store yet. So 2019 is already formed, I guess.
I think so. And sports, we talked about sports earlier. I think sports would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big NBA Raptor fan in Toronto.
Okay, yeah.
So if I can't get to a game, I think in the near future it'd be cool to be able to visualize my experience of the game with, an augmented reality experience or VR.
Yeah.
So hopefully we don't get too nauseous with that type of experience. But
No, we would like to
exactly.
thank you.
well, I thank you. Thank you for giving me a platform, and you guys sound great on radio. That's
Thanks.
important.
Good luck in the booth,
Thanks,
David George.
David George. Yeah.
David
Hall,
George.
Hall 14, E10. Come check us out.
Accedo.
Accedo.